Hi everyone. I'm Jingshu. I'm co-founder of VeeR. We are a content distribution platform. I'm very glad to be here to talk about distributing and monetizing immersive films. Before I start, just a quick introduction about our company. We are a premium content distribution platform that focusing on connecting VR content and the audience. By audience, we mean a mass audience because we want to distribute VR content, especially immersive film, to massive and general audience beyond early adopters and tech enthusiasts. And we are currently distributing both online. Online is worldwide, and we've been doing online distribution for 3 years since the company founded in 2016. And this year we start to distributing content offline and mainly focus in Chinese market. So currently we focus on video-based content. It can be immersive linear video as well as interactive video, such as branched narratives. We actually build a tool to allow our creators to create interactive video without any coding. So once the creator upload their content to our platform, it can get distributed online. Sorry, the image has some issue there. But we have an app that's across most of the major VR platforms like Oculus and Vive, as well as the VR manufacturers in China, Pico and Xiaomi. So creators, they don't need to worry about how to adapt to different platforms. We just did all the works for there, so creators can just focus on their content. We started offline distribution, which is location-based entertainment for VR in this year. And the online platform for VR is actually segmented because we got a lot of different players for online, but also the offline, the LB is even more segmented. We have different operators from the tourism places, shopping malls, and the VR cinemas. So what we want to build is we want to build a middle layer between the content and the operators, so we can defragment the market. And I'd like to talk a bit about why we're focusing on video-based content at this stage, because I know the industry, there's a lot of exploration beyond 360 videos. People are exploring 6DoF content, room scale content, but this is how I usually see how the market and the industry evolves. I'd like to break it down to 3 layers. So the first layer is the development of technology. So technology always needs to develop first. So back 5 years ago, we started to explore the technology for playing and distributing 3DoF content like immersive video. At that time, people are still exploring like how to shoot 360 video and how to stream 4K video online. But as technology develops, it will get more, the technology side will get more mature. That's good enough for content creators to start building content based on the technology. And but in the meanwhile, technology itself will keeps evolving. That's what we are seeing now. So the immersive video or 360 video, the technology-wise, it's actually much more mature now. But people are we always need to keep exploring the frontier of the technology. That's what the industry currently is focusing on, exploring the technology for 6DoF content, real-time rendering, and also like larger scale, room scale content. And also, the content was, from our perspective, I think from 2017, we start to see more mature and complete content, such as Grid C or Lucid. It's not just a 2 to 3 minutes demo. It's more like a 15 to 30 minutes, and it tells a complete story. So as the technology gets evolved, content is also evolved, and we see a lot of creators are exploring the storytelling techniques, and we see more and more good contents coming out. And based on the development of technology and content, then there comes the development of business model. That is what we are focusing on exploring, because we think in the industry, like in the emergent technology industry like VR, it's important to always have the people and the companies exploring on the frontier of this industry, always exploring the latest technology, latest content and storytelling techniques, but also needs company to build a solid business model around it to really make things from exploration to real business, so we can keep generating revenues from content creating and keep the industry grow. So we did a lot of exploration around our business model, and after all, we find at current stage of technology and content, immersive film is a place where we can build a feasible, scalable, and sustainable business around it. It's feasible because first the hardware, like for example, the hardware from both shooting side, the camera, it's getting better and cheaper now, and also the headsets. The street-off headset is really cheaper, and also it can play 8K video now, so the quality is good enough for immersive film. And also, from operational-wise, it's more scalable, because when we start to run LB and VR cinema, we only need 2 to 3 people to operate about 20 to 30 seats in one room. So operational-wise, it's very scalable, and also it's easy to set up. So we can scale. So currently, we are selling our solution to hundreds of people who wants to open a VR cinema. And the setup time for them is pretty short, so it's scalable. And also sustainable, because currently I think the technology and the content techniques, it's mature enough, so we can have good estimate about how long do we need and how much money do we need to produce one content. And the production time it's usually well under control. That means we can keep continuing, as we generate more revenue, we can continue produce more content and help our creators to produce more content to keep this in a positive cycle of keep creating content, and we distributing and getting revenues from audience, and then feedback to the content creation side. But what about just one more insights about sixth off. We are also, as we build we think this is a pretty solid model about immersive film. We are also exploring how we can distribute sixth off real-time rendering content in the future. But I would say that still needs maybe 1 or 2 years of technology development, and it really needs 5G and also things like cloud rendering to get that type of content distributed to mass audience. About our business model, we are currently doing pay-per-view for both online and offline development, and I think for both online and offline distribution. And for online, we think eventually a subscription model will make more sense. But at current stage, the total volume of the content base is not large enough to support a subscription model. So we currently still stays in pay-per-view. And also our prediction about the market, I think in the next 1 year, location-based market is going to grow faster than online. Because online, it's limited to people who have already bought headsets. And that's a big hurdle. Yeah, it still takes time for the market to get more mature. But for location-based, if you find the right match between the location and the content and the audience, it's not limited to people who have bought VR headsets, so it has a much larger addressable market. For online distribution, you can just go to Oculus or Vive to download our app. What I'd like to share more about is our location-based VR solution. So we built a turnkey solution for cinematic VR. We still focus on immersive film. We don't build solutions for gaming. Gaming is another industry, and it's very different. So currently we are using all-in-one headset with 4K screen, and we can play 8K video on it. And besides the video playback, we also build the end-to-end solution, including the content management system, the ticketing system, and the dashboard. So for the operators, it's just a turnkey solution. They can set up very quickly. And also we have our premium library. It's part of our online library. So our online library it's big, and currently we select around 30 content from our online library to distribute offline. Because for offline, most of the audience, they are new to VR, and we want to bring the best experience to them, so it will wow them for the first time. And also, we in the LBE, we have two different models. I think this is where it gets interesting. So we have both VR cinema and also a self-serve VR terminal model. So the system is actually the same and the hardware is the same, but in the VR cinema mode, where people they will have a dedicated place for this cinema, and they will put like 10 to 30 seats in it, and they will have staff that dedicated to operate this cinema. But we find another scalable model is we have this we call self-serve VR terminal. Maybe it's because it's Chinese market. People are so get used to self-serve services as well as mobile payment. So people can just go there and they will scan a QR code on the device, and then from there they can pick the content on their mobile phone and pay for the ticket. And once they pay for the ticket, it will tells the headsets to play that content. So the audience just put down the headset and start to watch it. And this is what we find a lot of operators and people who own real estate that can operate a small VR cinema are more interested about. Because a lot of operators, they are just getting started to exploring this market. They are not very sure, oh, if I have a dedicated place for VR cinema, is it going to make money? Is it going to be sustainable? So a lot of them, they will start from this self-serve model first. Then maybe they buy 2 to 3 terminals from us, and then they operate it for a while, and if well, it's a good business, they will like enlarge the room and switching from the self-serve terminal to the VR cinema. And this is just one example that this one is operated by us. We opened a VR cinema at Shanghai Tower. It's the tallest building in Shanghai. And we have 36 seats there. And like every day, especially on holidays, there are lots of people coming in. And just one insight I'd like to share with everyone about the location-based VR. We think it's really important to find the match between the content, the location, and the audience. And that's what we want to do. We want to build a network that will connect all the location-based operators. And also we are getting data about what people purchase, what do they like. And then eventually we will have the information about at what location, what type of audience will be interested in what type of content. And also we will share this type of information with our creators to help them create content. These are we did a lot of tests among different locations during the past 3 months. And these 4 places are what we find are good places for location-based VR. And we think at current states, it's more like VR is still not big enough that itself will attract a lot of people coming in. But so we just decide to go where people go to. For example, tourism places, a lot of people go there, and we will collaborate with the owners of those attractions and to build a VR cinema there. We find this is the fastest way to get VR in front of the general audience. And a bit information about audience. Location-based VR, the audience is very diverse because it really depends on the location, and also depends on the content. But and most of them are new to VR. But we do find there are two biggest group from the audience. One is Generation Gen Y, people aging from 25 to 35. I think they grew up with the internet, and they are very willing to try new things. And the other big group is children. Like children, they are so fascinated about VR, and they don't have a lot of, like, for example, they don't care about the resolution or a lot of details that we might care about a lot. They just so engaged with the content, and also parents, they are willing to pay for children's entertainment and also education. And also we did research about what audience, like this type of audience, what do they care about the most? They still care about image and sound quality a lot. For example, resolution and the quality of image is super important. And based on that, we find storytelling, they really care about the storytelling. If it's not a complete story that has a good beginning, climax, and ending, they more feel like, oh, maybe it's a demo or a trailer, and they are not that willing to pay for that type of content. So storytelling is super, super important. And actually for these type of audience, since most of them are new to VR, they actually care less about interactivity and degrees of freedom. I think that will be the next stage. So the first stage is they know, oh, with VR we can enjoy a good experience, a good story within VR. And then the next stage, maybe after 2 to 3 times, they will look for more about interactivity and degrees of freedom. So because when we do VR project, we know the budget is limiting, so we think it's important to decide wisely where we put our money. And the lens about VR content, I think for current stage, it's better to, the content is better to between 10 to 30 minutes. So if it's below 10 minutes, people think it's too short, that they are not willing to pay for. But if it's above 30 minutes, because the headset is still a bit heavy, and like the people will start to feel discomfortable after 30 minutes. And these are the genres that we find popular and getting good feedback from offline audience. I'm not going through them in details one by one, but you can just take a look. Lastly, so this is what we provide to our creators, because we really want to work very closely with our creators and help them to distribute and monetize their content. So first, we provide the distribution and monetization model. That is what I shared just now. For the business model with creators, we can do both license fee, flat license fee, as well as minimal guarantee plus revenue share. We are pretty flexible because we want the creators to be more comfortable with with the model they feel comfortable with. And also we share audience feedback and all type of data and analytics with our creators. For example, heat map is one thing that we think is pretty important because it's visualize where the audience is looking at. And also the insights about the general audience and the market. And also recently we just started a funding program that helps creator we provide financing for them to produce their content, as well as sometimes we have some co-production opportunities with also like our creators to join us. And for more details, you can go to this website to check out. And also we provide a lot of other supporting like marketing, localization, and also the copyright protection. So that's pretty much it. And we have a VR cinema downstairs in room 6. So welcome to talk to us. And so the VR cinema here is not using our LBE system because that system is only limited to China at this stage. But we are going to build an international version of it maybe next year. And also, but we are showing a lot of content we really love. For example, like Kaiju Confidential, Conscious Existence, Lucid. So please come and meet us in your room 6 downstairs. Thank you.